I'm just gonna say it, Fender's being a bunch of dickheads right now, but this is still a great guitar. This is the American Professional 2 Stratocaster in Miami Blue. Check it out. Welcome back to Just Guitar Talk, everybody. How's it going? So we got something from the Big F, and a lot of people are, saying F the Big F right now, and I really agree with them, but we'll talk about that rant coming at the end of the video. So make sure you stay tuned to hear my opinion. It's very similar to a lot of YouTubers' opinions out there. Anyways, we've got the American Professional 2 Stratocaster Miami Blue. It's a very pretty color. This guitar is, of course, the second edition to their American Professional line. It's got some very modern features for Fender. It's got the 2-point tremolo with a cold rolled steel block there, so for extra sustain. It's got the little cutaway right here, which I think should be standard on all Strats. It's got a deep C neck, which you don't see very often on Fenders. We usually got the modern C. And this is the maple fretboard. Of course, it comes in rosewood as well. Very lightweight alder body. And we've also got the narrow, tall frets here. Now, these guitars come standard with the bone nut and their regular Fender tuners. I got this used off of guitarcenter.com, and I got a really good price because whoever had this previously installed a little roller nut there. That's one of those point of no return mods. You can't undo it. It's not the cleanest of installs, but functionally works very well. They also put Fender locking tuners on here as well, as you can see. Anyways, there's a lot to talk about, but first let's hear what it sounds like. So for the demo, I'm going into my Head Rush core, and we're using a Tone Junkie 65 Deluxe reverb setting. We're gonna use a couple gain pedals on there, and we're going to also use maybe like a plexi for some heavier tones. But this is my clean tone on the neck pickup. Forgot to say, it does have a push on the tone knob here that will engage the neck pickup. So in this position, you get, kind of like a telly in between sound. And of course, if you were in the second position, you get all three. So we'll hear what that sounds like without, now with. Second position without, now with. Going back to the neck position, we'll throw on a little blues driver, see what that sounds like. Don't know what chord that was. Got to throw on a little tube screamer. See what that sounds like. Get a little bit dirtier. On a plexi sound, I'm going to throw on a fuzz face. So I failed to mention that this does have a treble bleed in here. So that was really noticeable when using the fuzz face. When I rolled back the volume, cleans up, it still retains that nice high end. And of course, some Univibe. The good, the bad, and the ugly. This Strat solves a lot of problems for me, a lot of Strat problems. It's very lightweight, which is great. I mean, I had a Mexican Strat previous to this one, and it was a little heavy, you know, and I do like Mexican Strats. You can get some good ones, but they're a bit on the heavier side. This is nice and light. Very, very light, so I like that. I like the little cutaway here. It's slight, but it's enough to make a difference, and I just think that should be standard on all Strats. You know, I don't know why they're holding on to that old block, you know, or even why they have the plate on the back here. Why not just bolt it in? That's part of a larger conversation. The narrow, tall frets, I think these are the frets that I like. Narrow, tall, feels very comfortable. And 9.5-inch radius, very good. The deep C neck, this is finally a Fender neck that I really, really jive with. Medium C is comfortable too, but too thin. Feels very, very thin compared to my other guitars. Not looking for a huge chunk here, but I want something to fill up my hand, you know what I mean? What I love about this guitar the most is the V-Mod pickups. They're made to enhance clarity, and these are very clear, crystal clear. And you know, I always pretty much replace the pickups in my guitars because either I want a different sound than the stock pickups have, or I need a noiseless solution. For this, I decided to buy a noise gate or a hum eliminating pedal because I don't want to replace these pickups. They're very, very good. They sound great, and I don't want a noiseless solution. I'll do something else. So yeah, these are the best Fender pickups I've ever played. It's quite an improvement. This is a big step forward for the Stratocaster, I think. I think at this price point, they should come with the locking tuners. I think I would rather have that than, you know, the fly case that it comes with. That's a nice case, but who wants to lug that around? Like a nice padded gig bag would be cool. The steel block is great. I hear a ton of sustain from this guitar, which is great. And so it's a great guitar, fantastic. And I got it used for about 1,100 bucks. So that's a smoking deal for this guitar. I would say get it used if you can, because you know it's like 1,800 bucks new, maybe a little bit more than that. But you can get them used for around 1,200, 1,300 bucks, and that's a good price. Very solid price. And I would say, you know, buy used Fenders right now. I don't know if you want to support Fender right now. They're doing the thing that all awful corporations do. They just, you know, they're going after the little guy, it feels like. You know, all corporations, and if you don't know by now, you're living under a rock, but basically Fender is going and suing everybody who makes an S-style guitar. You know, LSL have said they've received a cease and desist letter, and, you know, Paul Reed Smith has received one too from the Silver Skies. It's just kind of mind-boggling, you know, like these guitars have been out, you know, people have been making S-style guitars for decades now. As a friend of mine said, you know, the toothpaste is already out of the bottle and hardened on the side of the sink. You know, you can't go back now. And the cease and desist letters are asking them to recall all their guitars and destroy all inventory. Why would you destroy a guitar unless you were on stage smashing it to bits? That's the only reason why you would want to destroy a guitar. You know, and all the guitars are different, you know? It's not like these people are ripping off Fender. They're filling in a gap in the marketplace, you know? And they change them enough so that they are different, you know? And that should be good enough. you know? And it seems to me like Fender should stop messing with these other people and focus on making a better guitar, or just the guitar that they want to make, and then let everybody else fill in the gaps. Silver Skies exists because Fender wasn't making that guitar. So PRS did it. An LSL or a Nash or anything like that exists because Fender wasn't offering that product. And you know, there should be room in the marketplace for other people to compete. And these corporations, they will say, oh, you know, we're not trying to be a monopoly. We embrace competition, but it's all a lie. It's just a lie. They would love to be a monopoly. They would love for nobody else to make any other style guitar like this and be the only company that you can get one from. Of course they do. You know, they're beholden to shareholders. They're a corporation. You know, it's not like they're a mom and pop business, or, you know, even Paul Reed Smith, you know, they're huge, but, you know, it's owned by Paul Reed Smith. And it's a bummer. You know, it really is a bummer. This is just capitalism run amok, and Fender is a big corporation. You know, Gibson did this, you know, and they play authentic thing, and they're going to go after everybody. And, you know, we see how that worked out. So I just don't get it, man. Just don't get it. And it's going to blow up in their faces. And, you know, it really bums me out because I got this guitar before all that nonsense started, and I was so excited to make this video because I loved it. I've had several guitars and several Strat style guitars in the past, including a couple Silver Skies, and I love Fenders, and I love, you know, those other guitars too. I've had Jets, and if you've watched this channel, you've seen I've had a bunch of different Strat style guitars, and I think they all bring something unique to the table. But I'm in a Pink Floyd tribute band now, In the Flesh ATX, and I wanted a Strat to play in that band, you know, and I wanted it to be a Fender Strat. And this is my first American-made Fender Strat. And you know, my first real electric guitar when I was a kid was a Mexican Sunburst Stratocaster. I wanted, you know, a Sunburst Strat just like Stevie. I put Fender Custom Shop Texas Specials in there. And, you know, David Gilmour was an idol of mine too. And I wanted, you know, a Strat that had, I wanted a Fender Strat, you know. So it's a bummer to see them doing this, and it's going to hurt their reputation and their legacy. And they're doing this under the guise of protecting their legacy, but it's going to hurt it. And, you know, this will blow over. And I don't want people to stop buying Fender products because, you know, a lot of these, I heard Greg Cox say in an interview that, you know, and it's true, these music stores, you know, they have to buy a lot of Fender guitars in order to sell Fender guitars. So they're still on the hook for all this inventory that they have, you know, and it would be unfair to hurt, you know, the employees at Fender as well as the music stores that sell Fender products just because the Fender Corporation is being just awful. So what do? You know, we get on social media and say, this is horrible, stop doing this, we don't want this, you know, like you're just making me want to go buy another Silver Sky, you know. So say it loud, say it proud, you know, we don't want this. Just do what you do, be better, don't be a greedy corporation, you know, be a product for musicians. End of rant. How do you feel? Sound off in the comments. Do you have an American Professional 2 Stratocaster? Do you like it? I'd like to hear what you think. Thank you very much for coming by and listening to me rant and play guitar. And, you know, long live the Fender Strat, but everybody else should have a go at one too. And if you make something that's different and better, then that deserves a place in the market. Maybe that wasn't the end of the rant. Anyways, I'm going to play you all out. I've ranted enough. Until next time, y'all have a great week.